In the first semester of 2021, according to the Philippine Statistic Authority, 26.14 million Filipinos were estimated to be living below the poverty line, which was estimated to be 12,082 pesos a month, or on average for a family of 5. A very bad statistic that led me to think that, are we destined down this path, or can we evolve fast enough to change ourselves? Imagine that you were part of this poverty line and were offered a chance or a job to help you support for you and your family. Would you take that job for the experience or as the money as a quick escape? As a matter of fact, what do Bill Gates, Leonardo DiCaprio, Jeff Bezos, Stan Lee, LeBron James, Vice Ganda, and Manny Pacquiao have in common? They all came from poverty. Well, how did they produce similar results? What was their lives back then? Did they accomplish to obtain that place? Or can we change our fate like them? Or is our future truly set? Because like them, I grew up knowing what it's like to live in misfortune and resilience, to which I'm still experiencing hardship today. Yet, I am managing to find ways to have a part-time or something to support myself and know what it feels like to labor. What am I pertaining to? It is the difference of achieving success by an ordinary individual and an extraordinary or successful one. In this speech, I will discuss the differences between ordinary and successful people, why some ordinary people fail, and how normal people may achieve such success. So first, let's start with the differences of ordinary and successful people. Ordinary people complain, whereas successful people change. It is neutral to moan about how things are, but in order to improve your circumstance, you must adapt. The problem is, people are so afraid of changing or new things. Successful individuals will take advantage and adjust their circumstances to strive or alter them. You'll probably hear a few complaints here and there, but only while they're striving to change them. The next differences are ordinary people or individuals want to immediate gratification, but successful ones seek long-term gratification. Straight and simple, right? True successful individuals are generally better at thinking forward. They see the overall objective and the satisfaction that will come rather than the tiny milestones or sometimes when others did not acknowledge them. For example, in a game of basketball, the objective is to score more points than the other team and win rather to have the most points by an individual that cuts you off or for gaining the best interest not only for you but also the team. They understand that the other people's praise is just as valuable as you make it. Another trait is how ordinary people do not value their time while successful people maximize their time. Ordinary people may not understand how and when to maximize their time and are concerned about what they are losing out on. Successful people are organized, focused, and make better use of their time. Next, ordinary people do not set goals, successful people set realistic goals. Primarily due to the fact that ordinary people frequently fail to see the relevance of attraction or goal planning. It is actually not that significant to them. Goals, on the other hand, are at the end game and compasses that successful people know will direct them to their intended destination. And finally, one, if not the most important difference, is that ordinary people are afraid of failure, whereas successful individuals embrace it and learn from their own or other men's mistakes. Everyone is so terrified of failure, but successful individuals understand that failure is a necessary step on the path to success. No human being has not experienced failing in their lifetime. In fact, even the most successful entrepreneur has had to deal with a few setbacks. It is no less startling, but it is a necessary part of existence. It is the part of our growth. Although these traits are some of the most common, there are more differences and circumstances beyond what I have said that makes us more prone to poverty. Now that you understand the distinctions between normal and successful individuals, let's look at why we can succeed from poverty or success. As I pointed out a moment ago, the differences do not stop there. But why do citizens and young adults like us can succeed from poverty or success? Well, let me give you significant factors, mainly focusing at young adults and ordinary people. We are tough to manage, entitled, narcissistic, self-absorbed, unfocused, lazy. We easily surrender to stress, addiction, impatience, and anxiety. If you say you don't have some of these factors, then you are completely delusional. Let me enlighten you to why that is. It is due to the fact that we have these bad behaviors of social climbing, procrastination, and the bahala na mentality that harms ourselves. To demonstrate my point, instead of doing anything to make things happen, we procrastinate and prepare to leave the outcome to chance come by saying, bahala na si Batman. Hence, being unfocused and lazy. Moreover, as young adults, rather of preparing for examinations, some of us may spend more time playing computer games and or being narcissistic in TikTok or Instagram, or self-observed in Facebook and Twitter, the entire time as forms of addiction, which is consequently leaving their chances of passing the exam thinking and praying and relying that God would assist them in achieving the test then pass. Afterwards, what happens if we fail? We become stressed, filled with anxiety, not to mention feel entitled that you deserve to pass. Do you think that the men and women I mentioned before, whom had reached their success and overcame poverty, have these behaviors? One thing is certain, and it is definitely not. Definitely not. At this modern day of age, and we can't deny it, we all like to spend our lives in this usual manner, repeating the same old routines, thinking that it's all right. But on the contrary, we are so entitled or egotistic that and really love to live beyond our means, thus resorting to social claiming. An example is not planning well and just resorting to an expensive school and graduating there, thinking that it is the only way to be successful. But even though it is true, yet the bill is way beyond our own means. Furthermore, normal people believe that the finest and only education can be found in a good school or college. After all, it is more safe and pleasant for us to make that choice, right? More obstacles to an already extensive obstacle, which is life. And we are satisfied with the current system. But remember, successful individuals understand that education is never ending. You must continue to learn from other resources and other than from the school. The problem is, most of us have the combination of bad Filipino behaviors and ordinary people traits, which we deliberately want to torture ourselves without even noticing it. Some of us don't want to explore unique ways and come up with the new ideas, which clearly differs us from the successful people. With that said, we really need to change ourselves. At this time, we now know a few examples of this fork in the road. Now, how do we get there? How can normal people may achieve such success? In the beginning of this speech, I gave you a scenario where I told you that imagine you were part of this poverty line and were offered a chance or a job to help you support for you and your family. Would you take the job for the experience or the money as a quick escape? If you pick the money as a temporary escape, I'm sorry, but that option will not bring you anywhere in life or in your career. However, if you opt to obtain the experience, it will undoubtedly be the finest decision you can ever make. Here's why. Have you ever realized that in order to be stronger, reach higher levels or ranks, there will always be obstacles and enemies and chances to get experience when playing any type of video game? Naturally, this occurs in real life, since life is a game. You will meet challenges and adversaries, and when you do, it only indicates that you are in the correct track to success. You'll need that experience to advance even further, and it will carry over into any interest that you pursue for the rest of your life, whether it is good or terrible. Then, in any event, have several plans for the future. Operating on those plans every day, since if you fail to plan, you plan to fail, and then balance everything. Coming from a lower class family, at the same time, a college student, I don't have the proper training yet of being offered a job as soon as I finish. But since it is still early in my career, I intend to gain a variety of working experiences. I have many interests including tinkering, computers, and technology. And I use my skills to start a small business constructing mechanical keyboards like this for clients and gamers. I learned how to interact with clients, the mechanics of a keyboard, soldering, electronics, and so on. In addition, I strive to operate part-time since employers value job above academics. Thus, honestly, it really helps a lot. And I learn more beyond my studies. Use this as motivation for the same reason to find your sense of purpose, your environment, and passion to gain experience through training. Learn from other people who have encountered problems or goals similar to yours, and always keep trying. Turn off all distractions, empty your thoughts before focusing on important tasks. Remember that a healthy body equals a healthy mind. Concentrating may be difficult, but when the body is ill or the mind is depressed, it's nothing. Set small objectives, joy, self-confidence, skill set, like what I've mentioned earlier, etc., as a step-by-step means of gratification. Then add those realistic goals and ideologies to the greater picture of your long-term goals. It's just killing two birds with one stone, right? So at the end, I would like to conclude my speech by reminding everyone who were dealt a bad hand. As I have shown about various situations that differentiate ordinary and successful individuals. The mechanism of certain regular people struggle, the mechanisms of why certain regular people struggle, and as well as how ordinary people might achieve such success with no fault of their own. We have to work extra hard to figure out that there are ways that we can build our confidence in order to find more balance that help overcome the need of instant gratification and experience the joys and impact in the fulfillment that we get from working hard over something we strive for. People should stop caring more about the short-term gains than the long-term rewards, and not having the willpower to get above the means at an early stage of their career. As difficult as it is now to grow up and go through life without ever truly discovering satisfaction, they will never truly find deep fulfillment in job or in life. They'll they'll merely go through the motions of life, working until they die, and plan accordingly. Gain as much experience as possible. Consequently, ladies and gentlemen, always remember, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Thank you and have a good day.